We are back. It's Daniel and
Julia.
And here we go. Let's see where our the intrepid travelers were last time. Okay, so we were in Guernsey. Maybe we shouldn't have shown this slide. It'll give everything away. Ah. Okay, so we were in Guernsey, right? And we said, and then it'll be time for us to go. And we were staying at the
La Fricae.
Right. And that was the hotel, so we caught the
We caught a cab
we did.
to the
port.
the Condor ferry station.
Right. And that's when we found out, surprise, it was canceled. So that's okay. That's okay. We caught a cab back to and extended our stay at La Fricae for one night.
For one night, because they said, okay, it'll be one night. So we spoke to
not
the
a
people.
big deal.
We spoke to the people there. They said, oh yeah, not a problem. We can definitely extend your stay for one day.
Sure. And we're like, well, we then rushed around trying to change bookings further down the road to make sure everything was set. And so the next day,
we caught a cab.
Yep, we caught another cab.
Back to the port.
And still nothing, because there was a big storm going on and nothing was leaving. And
so we couldn't afford another night at La Fricae because
it's expensive.
It was really expensive. And we didn't want to push our luck having them to extend it yet another day, because they did give us a discount because we were stuck. So we decided to knock on Premier Inn's door, and so they said, yeah, sure, we can book you, we can put you up for a night. They also gave us a discount because we were stuck, but then finally we made it.
So after 2 days of we don't know, we got in. So this is us on the ferry. That was us waiting before the ferry left. This one over here, la la la. And this is me on the ferry. The ferry is still hours long, so it's very exciting.
And it left in the afternoon, and so we didn't get to
Portsmouth until like midnight. Now that's a problem, because our next spot was supposed to be Richmond. Now I keep showing this map, because a lot of the trains and the rail had already stopped for the day. And just so you know, it is really slow when a giant ferry ports in, because those foot passengers, that's us foot passengers, we're the last to leave. They got to get the cars out of the way. We get into the little bus they have, and they drive us over to the terminal. And so by that point, there aren't very many options.
All the trains had stopped. There were no buses going.
Right. And even if there were trains, they're not going to go straight to Richmond. They're going to eventually make it to all the way into London proper.
So we had one option, and that was basically a cab.
Yeah.
A very, very, very expensive cab
ride. Look at these times. When we told him that we're going to Richmond, his eyes, he was like, yeah, I just hit the jackpot. So, yeah, of course I can do that for you. Not a problem.
So, anyway, we did get to another Premier Inn in Richmond, and it was quite nice. The people there were very kind when we explained why we were in such a delay. Because technically we were a day past our booking, because we arrived at like 1 a.m. But they were very cool about it. They even offered us a free breakfast for the next morning. Very cool people.
But now we're in... So one last random thing that I want to talk about as a travel tip. So when you're traveling around in modern times, you'll notice this doesn't look American. And when we get to the rest of Europe, it won't look like that. Plugs change everywhere. But USBs and USB-Cs are magic.
Yes.
So I just have a couple of my cords on one of my discs. And what I wanted to point out is that we switched over almost all of our tech to USBs and USB-Cs so that all we needed to do is get magical plugs like this. We don't need converters. It's running on the right voltage.
We did buy that in Guernsey, so we were ready to go there.
But one USB, two USB-Cs.
Yeah.
And it's traveled all the way to wherever we are right now. That's a secret.
And this, as you can see in the plug, you can plug in. They have the three-prong plug. Then you can just stick your USB. And this is actually a switch because a lot of places believe in conservation as much as possible. So you have to, just like a light switch, you have to flip the switch in order for the power to work.
Yeah.
But that's like that in almost every hotel we'd stayed in.
Well, that's a UK thing.
All right, moving right along.
Yes. So,
our first meal, in Richmond.
Sorry if that was too boring, guys.
Nerds. This was delicious. It's a restaurant called Pizza Express.
It is, and we were so excited to go to this unique boutique place.
And yummy pizza, yummy appetizers, yummy bread. And then we found out that they're all over the place.
Yeah, they're a chain. Like we're talking to them like, "Do you own the place? Because you're great." And no, absolutely not. We were just stupid Americans. We're so sorry.
But they
completely embarrassed. Every city has them.
They're an upscale pizza place, so kind of like a CPK with their own, I
mean, they got a full liquor bar.
Mix on things, yeah. All right,
let's move on. That was
a delicious meal. Yeah.
So.
Oh yes, more snacks, more food.
All right. I don't know if snacks need to be explained.
But it was very exciting for all my Hawaii peeps to be able to get these snacks in the middle of Richmond. Yes. So that was cool. Yes.
It's a post office box with somebody crocheted. It's crocheted.
It's so cute.
Very cute. So, I promise there's crazy stuff coming along. We're just showing you some wind up. So this is Trafalgar Square, and this way up there, I couldn't climb it. They said that's illegal. Is Lord Nelson himself, the man who won the battle at Trafalgar, which is why he's okay.
So.
Now, no, you want to know? I'm not going to say. Okay. So this is a pretty famous place. You may have seen it in any number of movies. So this is the National Gallery. That's the fountain at the National Gallery at Trafalgar Square. You're going to see a trend here. Oh, I wonder where we're going in. Is it the National Gallery?
It's the National Gallery.
All right. You just tell me when to flip because
okay.
History's got a history.
So. Great ceilings, beautiful molding, and as you can see, there's a couple of artists' names up there that have been honored in this museum. And so I'm going to give a little bit of a art history lesson next.
Yes, of course.
So let's talk about boys wearing blue and girls wearing pink. This is a very, very modern, very American idea. In the old days, women were depicted in blue. This is Mary. And men, like the Christ, was depicted wearing pinks. Now, the reason for that is because purple is a significance of royalty, and a lot of times pinks were just a light purple. So there you go. There you have it. And I have made it a point to take as many pictures as I could of men in pink. And as you can see, it wasn't just for the Holy Family. Any prestigious male wore pinks.
And that really isn't red. The background throws it off a little bit, but it really isn't. And his hand is red. This is definitely a pink.
And women wore the blue. As you can see in this one, she's wearing the one on the right, she's wearing blue with just a pink shawl. So just a teeny tiny art history lesson there for everyone.
Julia gets off her podium. Oh wait, no she doesn't.
Oh, and of course, even very important and holy men, also in pink, and the women in blue. So there you go. So this was an interesting.
Moving right along.
This was an interesting painting.
Is that 2.5 Men? No, that's something else.
No. This is 3 men and a boy. And if any of you were alive in the 80s and early 90s, 3 Men and a Baby. This was obviously named after that. So just a little bit of history, more history for you.
They named the painting after the show?
You want to take this one?
We can take it together. So this is Da Vinci's sketch. And they actually taped together all of these different pieces of paper. And
this was
the largest.
It's huge. So this is actually taller than Daniel, and it has there's a sheet of paper and it's just pieced together to make a giant portrait.
Yeah, so very impressive. Largest one in the world. Let's move on.
So we have lots of famous artists that are being depicted here. Obviously, this is Van Gogh. And for our Whovian friends, more Van Gogh, and a particular Van Gogh.
Okay.
This one is a Monet.
Naturally.
A Picasso. And this is Rousseau, not just my favorite artist, but my personal favorite painting. I love this painting.
All right. Which means Turner's here. My favorite artist, and he even gets on the money. So I'm just saying. So, fantastic. And, sorry. So, we don't want to skip ahead. No ruining.
So that was the end of the portrait gallery. There were many...
National Gallery.
Sorry, National Gallery.
This is not a portrait of any person.
National Gallery.
Someone needs coffee.
We have tons and tons and tons of pictures, but...
we tried to dial it down for you guys so we didn't bore you, but, we were always worried about that. All right, something else we did while we were hanging out in Richmond is we saw The Boy and the Heron. I think you guys already saw the slide. Fantastic movie. It's really funny because this is like the picture that was advertised everywhere. It has all these cool actors, but we, of course, being nerds, did not watch it in English.
Nope. We saw it in Japanese with the English subtitles.
Yes.
And there was a theater in Richmond. They're part of a theater chain, so Hawaii people like the consolidated theaters. They have a theater chain called Odeon. And this was one of the few places we were actually able to see it with in Japanese with the English subtitles.
So,
and it was right
fantastic.
in Richmond.
Highly recommend if you haven't gotten a chance. Just a phenomenal piece of work. A lot. I could talk for a while about it.
And this also foreshadows our next video. So keep that in mind.
Oh no. I wonder what our next video is. Wait, I know our next video. Anyway.
And a quick word on the underground.
Right. So we, before we left Richmond, we knew our the next place we were going to stay was London proper, right in the center of everything. So we decided to take a little bit of a trip into the city to see how hard it would be to go through with the bags. And we also found that the underground is pretty nice.
It's really not too bad. It does beat the entire system beats New York's subway system.
Yeah.
It was so much easier for us to catch on to, and by the second day we knew which kind of direction to go and which trains to hop on, what the terminology meant. It's very user friendly. And one of the greatest parts is, that's just that.
Oh yeah, buskers.
I was going to say the escalators.
Well, I'm just all over the place here. But they do have buskers inside the stations. The trains are very low, so there's giant escalators. Sometimes you have to get multiple ones if they're really deep ones.
And you can take your luggage on it. It's very easy to maneuver.
It's not an issue at all.
Yes.
Some of them actually have elevators to get you back out. Thankfully, Euston and some of the bigger ones do as well. But I'm just going to go back. This is where we'd be staying for our next stop and for the next video. And we were trying to figure out, there's so much London in London. How do we break it all up? We've we've talked about one museum, and we talked about one museum and seeing a movie, and it's already a long video. So we decided the way we were going to break it up is we're going to break up the rest of London into 2 more videos. Hang on, it's going to get way more exciting, I promise. But that's all I've got for now.
All right.
Till next time.
Till next time, everyone.